Nintendo gave us what was one of the better directs that we've had in a long time with a lot of stuff, and despite that this is the first general direct in about 9 months, this one could stand up against anyone that we've gotten in the last couple of years, to be honest. So what's up, Waluigi? Trent from Trentendo. Today we're going to count down our top 10 things that were announced during the Nintendo Direct today, and talk a little bit more about what does this mean for Nintendo going forward, because I think that the way that this was structured, and even though these things that they've announced are great and exciting, I think it indicates what is on the horizon, specifically with Nintendo Switch 2. So before we hop into all this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy this type of content. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my ranking, if you change it up, if I missed something. I'd love to get those conversations going with you down below. And let's just dive right in. So first up at number 10, I've got the Switch Sports basketball update. Nothing too crazy here. It's been a while since I've picked up Switch Sports, to be honest. I enjoyed the golf update. I bowled a perfect game. So after I kind of did all that, I haven't really touched it in a while. So basketball might be the thing to get me to pick this game up again. Nothing too crazy though, just a couple of game modes with this as well. But it's a nice little get, and it's a free add-on, which is always a nice thing to get with existing Switch games. Number 9, I'm going with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Now, a little disappointing that we didn't get a new Donkey Kong game. Once again, we're getting a Donkey Kong game from a previous system ported over to Nintendo Switch in Donkey Kong Country Returns. But even though this is a Wii game, it's nice to see Nintendo at least acknowledging Donkey Kong's presence and getting us something new to play, even if it's something old new. So I'll definitely probably be picking this one up. I didn't actually play it on the Wii, so to me this will be a new game and a new experience, which I always love Donkey Kong Country games. So like I said, a little bit disappointing, but I think that they're probably saving the next entry for Nintendo Switch 2, and based off of all the other stuff that we'll kind of talk about here as well, I think that it's very noticeable that this is probably what is coming. Number 8, I'm gonna go with Stray. Now this game was a PlayStation exclusive for a while, and then it's made its way over to PC and now over to Nintendo Switch. Fun little game where you play as a cat. I'm excited to kind of pick this one up. I've looked at it on Steam a couple times, potentially played on Steam Deck. Just never really got around to it, but now that's on the Switch, maybe something I'll definitely pick up in the future. But it's one of those fun little games that it came out with a lot of critical acclaim. People loved it. There was like a mass following online for a little bit when this first was released. So excited to see this one hit Nintendo Switch and be able to get this game on the go for a lot of people. Number 7, we're going to go with Dragon Quest III HD. Now this game looks really, really cool. I've never actually played a Dragon Quest game, but the art style with the 2D HD stuff going on, it looks really, really fun, and I've heard really great things about the Dragon Quest games, so definitely one that I'll probably have to pick up at some point. And the fact that, this game it looks really, really good, and I'm really excited to kind of see how this does on Nintendo Switch. I think this was announced earlier for other consoles, so the fact that we're still getting this on the Switch is another nice get here for a lot of people. Now, number 6 and number 5, I've kind of split up. Maybe it's cheating, but number 6, I got A Link to the Past, Four Swords, and Metroid Zero Mission coming to Nintendo Switch Online for the Game Boy Advance. Both of those it's always nice to get updates to that. I think that we haven't gotten a lot of road mapping as to what to expect on some of this type of stuff. So it's always nice when we get updates, and it's coming out later today. So if it's not out yet, probably will be out a little bit later today on the 18th. So keep your eye out for that. And number 5, sticking with that same kind of vein of stuff, we got Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, and Perfect Dark. Now, this is going to be a fun one. There is some debate on whether this or GoldenEye is the better shooter on Nintendo 64. So the fact that we got both of these games here is going to be pretty fun. I'm excited to play that online multiplayer with some friends and stuff. Definitely a good get, and they did mention it's on the 17 Plus app. We had talked about this previously on the channel, that this was going to be a Japan thing. Curious to see what they do with it on here in the US at least, because they did mention that on the Direct, on the US, on Nintendo America's version of the Direct at least. So I don't know if there's going to be a separate app or if it's like parental controls or something. They hadn't previously talked about that as far as I'm aware. Someone can let me know in the comments if they had and I just missed it. So, but those games coming, those are going to be some fun ones to play as well. And like I said, this will be out here later today as well. Now, the top 4 is where I think there's going to be some jockeying for position. This is where I may ruffle some feathers a little bit as far as, what people want to see, wear it. But let me know in the comments if you agree or if you disagree and why. So number 4, I've got Mario and Luigi Brothership. Now, I know that there's a ton of love for Mario and Luigi games. I've never actually played one. I'm excited to play Mario and Luigi Brothership, though, on the Switch. I didn't have a DS back in the day, and it's been 8 years since, this Mario and Luigi series got any sort of updates. So This will be the first one in a long, I'm like almost a decade. So it's like I said, it's been a while. I'm excited to get my hands on this one though. I love Mario RPG. Like Paper Mario is one of my favorite games. So getting another Mario RPG style game is going to be very exciting, very fun. And it looks like it's a fun, quirky story. You know, the things you come to love with a Mario RPG. So I'm excited to get my hands on that one. And this one, number 3, this is where maybe I thought about sliding Mario and Luigi Brothership up here. But ultimately, it was my love for Mario Party that got me to put Super Mario Party Jamboree at number 3. Now, this is being touted as the biggest Mario Party game that they've ever made. So 110 plus minigames, 7 boards, 2 returning, my personal favorite in Mario's Rainbow Castle from the 64. Just a super nostalgic board for me. And I just love Mario Party. So I think that's why I had to give the edge here to Mario Party versus Mario and Luigi's. But whatever way you want to think about it, these are pretty close, neck and neck, to be honest. But I'm very excited for Mario Party, and both of those games, I think Mario Party Jamboree and Brothership are both coming out later this year, which should be exciting. And then the top 2, I think everybody's top 2 should probably be fairly the same. I think the 5, 4, 3, where you get some discrepancies on people's opinions. Number 2, though, we got to go Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Super exciting to get a new Zelda game, and not just a new Zelda game, but one where we actually get to play as Zelda. I think that's going to be a very interesting thing. I love the art style, very similar to what they did with, if not the exact same, to what they did with Link's Awakening. So I think that this is going to be a very fun game. The puzzles look really interesting. Excited to see more about the game itself. They didn't really give us a ton of info, but with this game coming out in September, definitely one that I think they're going to give us some more stuff probably sooner than later. And the fact that, you know, there had been a lot of talk about a Zelda game where we got to play as Zelda. Now it's here. So the one thing with this though is that we're getting this instead of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So I wonder if those are being held for a Switch 2 launch, and so they give us some 3D Zeldas to play over there when the new system launches, or maybe we don't ever get them at all. Like the way that we've talked about those 2 games in a while, it's kind of wild that we still haven't seen it. But instead of those, we're getting a brand new Zelda experience, which will be, I think, is going to be a very fun one, and I definitely can't wait to get my hands on that in September. And then number 1, clearly number 1, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. The fact that they finally showed us this game, you know, unreal. The game looks pretty interesting. We didn't even see a ton, so they did tag it with a 2025 release date, and I think that this is kind of the indicative of what the entire direct was all about. This was the last announcement. This is the last thing they showed in 2025, and I think this is all just kind of leading us towards Nintendo Switch 2. I think that next Nintendo Direct in September, if it is a Nintendo Direct, is going to be a Switch 2 blowout, if it's not just a Switch 2 event of some kind. I think that we're going to see more about the system. They're going to show us more about the gameplay, and I think what they showed us for Metroid Prime 2 was probably on a Nintendo Switch software, the way it looked, the way it felt. I think that there will be a Switch 2 version of this game, and I think we'll see more about that once we know more about Nintendo Switch 2, because they're going to want to show this game off in the best light possible. And if this truly is the last Nintendo Direct, you know, we talked about this the other day, but if this is truly the last Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch, they had to show Metroid Prime 4. You cannot tease this game 7 years ago for Nintendo Switch and not show it at a thing for Nintendo Switch. So this being the last Nintendo Direct, I feel like for Nintendo Switch at least, if it's all, you know, it kind of comes full circle with Metroid Prime 4 here, and I think this is going to lead us right into Nintendo Switch 2. And even these other games, if you look at this too though, like Metroid Prime 4, that was definitely the big game, but like even Echoes of Wisdom, it's a 2D Zelda. I love Zelda. I'm not trying to knock it, but it's a 2D Zelda. Super Mario Party Jamboree. I love Mario Party, but it's a Mario Party game. You know, they sell well, but it's not like it's the blockbuster title of the summer. Mario and Luigi Brothership. This will be another great one. Not a blockbuster title probably though. So all of these games is how good they are. Like they're all great, and any other year we'd still be very excited to get them, but they're not going to be the title flagship game of the year. And that's kind of the way it's looking right now. You know, with Echo of Wisdom, Brothership, those are going to be probably your bigger games for the year. Maybe Pokemon sprinkles in something here at a Pokemon Presents, and they'll announce something. Not ZA obviously, but maybe we'll get another, you know, Black and White remake or a Johto remake of some sort. So I think that there's still room for some games here later in the year, but nothing's going to be, you know, absolutely crazy as far as what, you know, these big titles, the AAA titles, if you will, But like Echoes of Wisdom, I'm super excited. Like, I'm still excited for these games, so I'm not trying to knock them, but I'm just the way that the ports and the remasters and these games coming that are, you know, maybe smaller titles. I think this is all leading to Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that we're going to see it fairly soon. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below on all this, though. What do you guys think? Am I off my rocker? Do you agree with the rankings? Do you, do you want to change things up? Did I miss something important to you? I'd love to get those conversations going down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, though, as well, on if this really is the last Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch, and if you agree that, the way that they've shown these titles, and even though we're excited and they're awesome, they're still leaving lots of room for these gigantic titles to be announced and shown off on Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of that below. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, catch you later.